I have yellow paint in my knuckles and in the cracks of my fingers. Now, I didn't fuck anything yellow.
Welcome to the show and thank you for tuning in. Your host Tyler and Richard, let the ruckus begin. Whether you like valleys or Nikes or caffeine or Adderall, all the homies press play, allow your minds to be freed. So come on, wired and wondering, high, something like dopamine, caffeinated fiends. Oh, explore the galaxy, save the memories, bring in the cheddar cheese now. What, wired and wondering, high, something like dopamine, caffeinated fiends. Oh, explore the galaxy, save the memories, bring in the cheddar cheese now. Wired and wondering.
Cool. I'll splice that shit in because I can't.
Spice what in?
What just happened? All the extra shit.
Are
But yeah, so
we started?
yeah.
Oh,
we're
shit.
good.
Oh, okay.
Episode 2. We actually got. So this is a 10-year Scotch.
10-year Scotch.
Glen Cullen 10-year age Scotch, and there's whiskey bullets in it instead of the stones because I didn't
gonna say,
freeze the stones last night.
am I gonna
Get lead poisoning? No.
Man, I hear that it's great. You know, George Washington had lead poisoning. Let's see. He had, first, I think, what was the wood ones, and then he put in fucking lead teeth? Or is it backwards?
No. I'm not saying that because it's funny because I grabbed, so last episode I used AI to grab a whole bunch of clips from. So like when people put clips on like TikTok or whatever, which by the way, did you uninstall? Because I can't send you shit anymore. Or did you get banned?
No, I wish I got banned.
Because I feel like that would just be the most Richard thing to do, is just get banned off TikTok for bullying.
No, I deleted it because I just spent a lot of time on TikTok.
That's fair.
It's a little unhealthy. I mean, it's the same thing with Instagram, but
yeah, but I mean, at least Instagram you can have like a little bit more control. But no, TikTok, I get that, dude. Like I'm pooping, TikTok. I'm going to bed, TikTok.
Yeah.
Fucking bored at work, TikTok.
Yeah, it consumes your attention, and then at the same time, like, I don't know. There's nothing wrong with TikTok. All those people that panicked during the TikTok freaking outage or whatever, it's at the end of the day, bro. Like, it's just an app. Watch. The news or something. Enlighten yourself on some other issues, or find other interests that doesn't have the screen in front of your face.
Yeah.
It's hard to say that, and then like I want to go home and play video games. But...
True. No. So like I used Opus Clip, which Opus Clip is really good for pulling shit from the video to make like 30 to 60 second clips. So I pulled like when we were talking about wrestling, when we were talking about Brendan Fraser, and like some really solid clips got posted to TikTok and YouTube Shorts, but which YouTube Shorts for some reason does way better than TikTok will ever fucking do.
It's the new generation of kids that are watching YouTube Shorts.
Yeah, there was the one where you talked about Michael Jackson and his power move when he bought Eminem's discography, like the rights.
Oh yeah,
the label that owned basically Eminem, all of Eminem's music.
Yeah.
And when you were talking about it, because when you were talking about it, you were like, I'm not sure. I think he did this, and basically you were trying not to say something wrong.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because the internet's filled with like false information. People who just like feel like they know shit. Somebody commented and is like, bro was really unsure of the facts. I was like, better to be unsure of the facts than spread fucking false information.
Yeah, I mean, people are gonna just say whatever they want to. They're just
there's a disconnect.
They're gonna say like, oh, that was wrong, or get your rights, your facts right. And that's look, I get it. I'm not that, interested. Whatever the case may have been, that he bought the rights or he bought
it popped up on my thing. He bought like the record label, not Interscope, not Aftermath, but like above that owned.
Oh Jesus Christ! Yeah, so that's.
But then at the end of the day,
it's the power move. That's all. That's
all. It did. It wasn't like I'm gonna release a record about you. It was like, all right, motherfucker. Every time you put out a record, I'm gonna make money off you.
Yeah.
But it made me realize that there are so many people that are just so quick to jump on like any information and pass it off as fact, or just like the dynamic of any like buddy podcast or like 2-person podcast is just the biggest. Like there's a couple different dynamics. There's the one where it's like we are full blue pilling, rabbit holing, like we'll be like, do you believe that this happened? And it's something completely fucking false.
Yeah.
It's like, did you know that SpongeBob was actually a allegory for child predators? It's like, or something, or like something so outlandish just for people to click or like rage bait them.
Yeah.
Or the dynamic is there's one really smart guy and one just like brolic idiot who's like one guy who knows a whole lot, and the other guy's like, no, it's this way and you're wrong. And the guy's like, no, literally, it's like the grass is green. No, grass is blue. You're wrong. I've seen it. It's like, and it's just so funny. It's like, I understand that gets like attention, but it's like, dude, y'all are just, it pains me to watch.
It's
like,
cringy.
You can't be this dumb.
Yeah, no, it's definitely cringy. I think at the end of the day, and this is a true fact, you can look this up. Go fuck yourselves. People are more interested in being mad.
Oh yeah.
Than any other emotion. It's a more compelling emotion. They did actual medical research by opening people's brains. I forget what the research name of it was called, but they opened their brains and then they like used a tool to like pressure point on certain parts of the brain that causes other emotions to populate. Mm-hmm. And anger, which is I would assume is in the medulla oblongata. Medulla oblongata, whatever the word
They're
is.
They're gonna give you shit. You can't even say medulla.
Where the crocodile gets mad, you know what I'm saying? Because it's too big, you hear? Yeah, that's the like part where, and I can understand that because I feel the best when I have a justification for being mad at someone when I'm driving. If someone does something stupid, I feel so good to just be like, hey, what the fuck are you fucking doing? Yelling at people. Oh, man.
My favorite thing to do is when people, so like, obviously I drive on the freeway a shit ton.
Yeah.
My favorite thing to do when there's people, because I'm going between 80 and 85 majority of the time. Because like, I know these roads, I can go fast enough. There's not a lot of highway patrol on there. My favorite thing to do is when like somebody pulls into the slow lane to pass me and get back into the fast lane. Mm. Even like on the street, like in town where there's 2 lanes and they do that and we pull up next to each other, I'll just look over to them instead of like flipping them off or giving them thumbs up, I'll just go start giving them a clap like, dude, you did it, bro. You got there 3 seconds early, but look, we're right in the same fucking spot.
Yeah. People are ridiculous, but at the same time, like they all have their nobody thinks about the next person.
No, because everyone's worried about their own shit.
Yeah, they only care about themselves, and that's I get it, I understand, but let's not do that. Sometimes let's. Maybe if you want to get your food, or you feel an inclination that you should be ahead at the line for whatever, that's your own problem, but humble yourself, just think about other people. Don't get immediately mad at the cashier because she got your order wrong, or the tomatoes are on your burger when you get it, throw that bitch out. Who cares? I'm not going to cry. People make mistakes all the time.
Yeah. Somebody said it to me and I forget who told me. But somebody said, never speed somewhere just because you're going to be late. If you're important enough, they'll wait. Now, granted, it's like different for like a job, but like, if you're going to an appointment, if you're important enough, they'll fucking wait for you. Or just fucking show up early. Like, it's really not that hard to show up early. Like, holy crap. The amount of, because I get emails at work every time somebody's late. The amount of fucking emails I get is so like, I don't want to talk about work too much because I don't want to get in trouble.
Will you get
last time I talked about work on a TikTok live stream, somebody went and cried.
Hey, Juan Carlos actually sent me one of the TikToks that you posted for the first.
Yeah.
And it was the one about giving away secrets as to like us going to the Habibi store and shit like that.
Oh yeah.
He was like, don't tell anybody. What the fuck's your problem? Don't give out company secrets. And I'm just like, man, we don't work there anymore.
It's all about like I said, it's all about the Tobbins though. Tobbins is just they have so much more shit. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the Habibi Mart because they're like, it's real. They know us, they remember us, they're chill with us, we're chill with them. But dude, it's just like you remember the limited selection just because it's not small, corporately sponsored like Tobbins is, and the Tobbins just has so much more stuff, and obviously it's cleaner.
Yeah.
Because it's a little bit more expensive and they have more expensive shit, but dude, they have, oh my god, they have like this cold brew coffee station that I have yet to try.
Oh, stop
Not
it.
to mention inside of there's a Gongcha boba place.
What the hell?
It's so fucking good, dude. And it's like
Jesus
zero interaction,
Christ.
so you just go on the screen, just do, and it goes up and number 12.
That's
go
so
pick it up.
sad. Nah.
Well, no, like there's a person. If you really want to order with the person, you can, but just like
but
it's the introvertedness that makes it just because then sometimes maybe they're gone, maybe they'll go to the bathroom because it's literally the same person running the boba place as it is running the cash register.
yeah,
Or like they'll have an extra person who's doing something different.
I don't know, man. I like it, and I get the introverted like aspect of things. I understand that because sometimes I can be introverted. It just
Mhm.
depends on my mood. Depends on if I've eaten or maybe I'm having a tough day or whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, I like to remember people. I like to see a face there, whether they're smiling or not, whether I can just, have small talk or whatever. It's just, I think it's a better experience, It doesn't feel like lifeless. I have interaction. Everybody needs interaction. That's just nature.
But I mean, you're coming with a generation raised by screens that just are raised on that.
I wasn't
disconnect.
raised by screens.
Well, no, like I'm talking about like younger generation.
Oh,
we were some of the last that like had human interaction and technology
Yeah.
when growing up, whereas a lot of these kids just have technology, and you see it where they just want a phone. They want,
And that's the parents' fault. That's the parents' fault.
yeah.
When I have kids, I hope that they understand the importance of human interaction. They understand the importance of being outside along with video games, because you can do both. You can manage
Mhm.
both. And personally, I'm gonna like show them old Tom and Jerry. I'm gonna show them, all the old cartoons that I watch, and then they can do whatever the hell they want. They can get into whatever else they want to. I just want to show them a standard of what I was introduced to as a kid, and have them have that same standard, I guess. Like I'm gonna have them play Pokemon on a Game Boy because I'm gonna buy probably a Game Boy. I don't have my original one, unfortunately. I have my original DS. I'll have them play that. I'm gonna have them do all those, stuff. I have a PS2. Oh, my bad. I have a PS2, so I'm going to have them play those PS2 games before they even get a chance to play anything new. And that's just, giving them the lore and all the background stuff that they can have an appreciation for the new stuff. That's just, I mean, like not everybody's gonna have that opportunity. Not everybody's gonna be able to, do that. But at least for me, I'm gonna want them to be a little bit more open with everything than only come in and watch the new Teen Titans, or the whatever they have at that time, because it's gonna be different every generation.
Yeah, well, and then it's having that appreciation because time shit we were watching when we were kids and younger is like way different games we played, but it comes down to be able to know like this is entertainment. And I think that's where the big disconnect is with a lot of shit now, where people are like, oh, it's the video games making violent. No, it's the lack of discernment and be like, this is purely entertainment. It's not going to create violent tendencies because this is our disconnect. This is how we dissociate. I grew up playing Mortal Kombat. Doesn't mean I want to go fist fight everyone and rip their spine out of their asshole.
I played Burnout 3. Doesn't mean I want to drift every corner and crash into people so I can rack up rewards and turbo.
I mean, we listened to, The Chronic and NWA and Eminem growing up, and it's like the shit he was talking about, we don't like, it was all music. It's all entertainment. And I think that desertion falls off with kids because they're like, oh, I want to emulate this or I want to emulate that. And that's where the older generation is like, oh my God, these devices and video games are making kids violent. It's like, no, it's the parents not stepping in and being like, hey, look, this is fiction. Even though you're the ones like doing this shit, because people are freaking out about the new Assassin's Creed game coming out where you can basically go to like a temple and go like kill people. In any Assassin's Creed game you can.
Yeah.
I mean, you killed fucking colonials, you've killed Vikings, you've killed,
every
revolutionary, a whole bunch of shit. You killed pirates, and nobody freaked out until it's like, oh, Japanese temples are sacred, and this guy just went into one and massacred people. It's like, first off, that's a choice. It's not a part of the game where it forces you to do that, but also it's the assertion that this is entertainment. You know, nobody's going to want to start a motorcycle gang and run drugs and guns because of Sons of Anarchy. Nobody's going to want to start cooking meth because of Breaking Bad.
I don't know, man. There's a lot of incentives behind those, both of those things.
But, like,
you can make a lot of money.
But you know what I mean? Where
Yeah,
it
I
just,
get you.
it falls on the burden of the parents to, because again, I listened to that shit growing up, and I'll never forget when we were growing up. We had the big old CD jackets, right, with all the CDs in them, and my dad found my brother's one, and on Dr. Dre's The Chronic, there's a fat fucking chronic leaf on the CD itself, and he had to talk with him like, "Hey, you know what this is?" Like,
and your dad's a police
Yeah,
officer.
yeah,
That makes it way worse.
yeah, and he's just like, "No, it's just a CD. Like, yes, they talked about this, and that, but it's all music." You know, I used to play Mortal Kombat with my dad and my whole family. It's like entertainment.
Yeah.
But we already knew, like, this is a fun thing to do. It's not, yeah, cool, it's violent, but like we were able to discern, like, this is entertainment. This does not emulate real life.
Uh-huh.
Whereas now everyone's like, oh, Call of Duty and Fortnite and fucking all this other shit just causes kids to be violent. Like, no, it's the lack of human interaction and parents telling their kids, like, this is bad, this is good.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like, nobody blinks an eye at like gang violence. No one, like, eventually at some point, yeah, it becomes an issue and a topic that people want to talk about. But no one's gonna sit here and say like, "Oh, my son became a gangster, and because my oldest son was a gangster, or his cousin was a gangster." They're not gonna get upset about that, you know, as much comparatively to a school shooting and everyone going, "Well, maybe we should get rid of Grand Theft Auto, or maybe we should get rid of Call of Duty because it's incentivizing killing people." And it's like, no, dude, like, maybe talk to your kids, maybe understand exactly what's going on with them, maybe be more assertive in their life. You know, as much as kids hate their parents, there's a way of doing it. You just, at the end of the day, you have to realize how your parents kind of like let you down in certain ways, or maybe how they treated you in a wrong way when it should have been this way, and learn about those issues and then fix them on your own. Because at the end of the day, your parents and your family and your grandparents are going to be the ones that show you what you could do better. And that's just common sense. You just watch it. I watched my brothers become gangsters and drug addicts and drug dealers. Did I grow up ever wanting to do that stuff? No, I saw exactly what that life led them in prison for 15 years, or not seeing the family, because if they come around, the enemy will know, and the enemy will know where the family is, and then that causes even more problems. So it just depends on, like, I could go on about other family members and how they fell after seeing their older family members doing the same thing that they, said that they wouldn't. At the end of the day, it's about being a more practical parent and being there for your kid. It's just plain and simple. I'm lucky I had my parents, my mom, the way she was, as much as she smothers me and like, irritates me in certain ways. I love her because without her, I wouldn't be who I am today. And I know that my older brothers, they're my half brothers, they had a different mom, and their mom wasn't in their life like that. And it affected them, I believe, in a certain way to how they are and who and how they are today. And that's unfortunate. They were still very young when my mom came into their life. They were like, I think 5 or 6 or something like that. I might have been a little bit younger, but that gap of years without that loving and caring, I guess it affected them in a way that they decided to do what they wanted to do, how they wanted to do it. It's just about being there for your kid. At the bottom fact, just be there for your kid. Be there as much as possible, because obviously jobs stop us from being able to do that. Their schools stop us from being able to do that. But if you can find a way to be able to be there, be there. It's simple. I don't know. It's hard. It is hard. Life gets in the way. We're not perfect, and where I maybe not unknowingly fall off where my dad wasn't like that in certain aspects. I have to grow and become a better parent with it. With each year, I have to grow.
Hmm.
You can't stay the same and expect different results.
True.
I hit a lot of.
Yeah, that was
My
like
bad.
that was deep, bro.
I didn't. I wasn't
That
trying to go that deep, but I just think that it's important that people know and they understand that even if they don't see any faults or problems, there probably is, and we should try to pinpoint that.
Mhm. No, I get it.
Stacks, you want to finish this shit?
But yeah, it all comes down to like just being able to discern the difference between entertainment and reality, which is there's such a blur now because you have generations of kids raised by technology and not by parents.
I think one of the things, like when I was growing up, I really I didn't care what people said about WWE. I thought it was like pretty legit. I knew that the storytelling was a little like fake. As a kid, it was hard to discern that, but
Yeah.
when I started doing like WWE moves on my cousins because they watched it, they introduced me to it.
Yeah.
I started realizing like, oh, some of the stuff like the Walls of Jericho, that doesn't. You could put someone in the Walls of Jericho and that won't do anything to them. And I like dug in and like sat on their back and nothing. Like it didn't even hurt them. And I'm like, oh, this shit's fucking fake. But you can't sit there and say that a metal chair to the face or even the back or the arms is you're not gonna feel anything. No, you're gonna feel something. You're gonna get hurt. Like it's a real thing. We jumped off ladders into the pool. Oh man, luckily nothing bad ever happened from that. But one of the ladders fell into the pool, and luckily like they missed my cousin. But I'm not gonna fucking hit a swanton bomb off the ladder onto someone that's floating in the pool. I know that's just gonna fucking hurt them, no matter what.
Oh yeah, bodies colliding with bodies. It's gonna fucking hurt.
Yeah, I knew as a kid it was gonna hurt, but that's why I like discern the difference. I don't know, like a lot of people like animes like Attack on Titan, and what's another good one? Jujutsu Kaisen maybe, where there's a lot of killing all at one time. But to me, in my personal opinion, it's a catcher. That's what the artist and author is trying to do in my opinion. I played so much GTA that shit doesn't even matter to me.
And it's again, it's entertainment, it's storytelling. There's so much shit that not only like shock value, but also like you said, it's a catcher. It keeps your attention. It's not, you're not going to enjoy something that's boring as hell.
To me, it's like I get what the artist is trying to do. Like you watch the first episode of Attack on Titan, and you're like, oh my god, they killed how many people? They destroyed how many buildings? Like that's crazy. I saw some guy get chewed in half. Like that's cool. That's if that's what you want to watch. Like congratulations, but like. There's more, like Dragon Ball Z, and people are going to hate me for this, but it's not that great. I like the fighting. The fighting is the best. It's bar for bar fighting, undefeated, in my personal opinion. But the storytelling is shit. You have a guy that wants to destroy Earth, rule Earth, destroy the universe, or rule the universe, and that's just about it. That's the bottom line. Now, I will say that Dragon Ball Super, in the latest arc that they did, I thought was great storytelling because they bring back a lot of old stuff from before Goku was even around, and they actually had some lore on it. So I thought that was actually really good and a step in the right direction as far as like storytelling. But for the majority of the story, what does Frieza want to do? He wants to rule the universe or destroy it. What does Cell want to do? Wants to rule Earth or destroy it. Realistically, that's all. He wanted to kill everybody if they weren't strong enough. That's what he wanted to do. Boo. You just wanted to kill people. That's just plain and simple. So if you can find something in that story and say that I'm wrong, hey, I'll admit it. But my personal opinion, that's just what it is. It's just what it is.
Yeah. I like how you're like talking to the camera like you're talking to the viewer. Like,
Yeah,
hey,
I am talking to the viewer. Damn it.
Shit.
Beat me in an argument about that. I like to see the opinions. I really would. Naruto was great. But the ending of the story sucked, in my personal opinion.
I can't do it, man. I can't do any of those ones that have like hundreds of thousands of episodes because I know I'll never catch up.
Yeah, you will. Naruto's already done. How are you not going to catch up?
Somebody had to make a list where it's like, here's all the ones to avoid. Avoid all these filler episodes.
Yeah, there is
nothing to the main story.
There is, but I mean, like, if you have to sit there and like wonder to yourself, is this filler or not? It's probably filler. Realistically, if you in one episode you have like Orochimaru fighting the third Hokage on the building, and then the next episode it's Naruto trying to freaking get some ramen, and every ramen store is closed. It's a filler. You know what I mean? You can tell within 5 minutes if it's filler or not. But there is lists. There's lots of. Yeah. I mean, like One Piece has a huge list in which the fillers and episodes that you don't need to watch because it's recap. Mm-hmm. And they're also shortening the story on anime. They're on a hiatus, which I don't think they've done a hiatus on the anime in a long time. But that one, the hiatus is to put out the whole story that they've already animated, but make it a lot more shorter by taking out the fillers, taking out the recaps, taking out unnecessary like stuff. Because the artist, he's a very detail-oriented person, but there's a lot of scenes where it doesn't need to show that. You know, it doesn't need to show certain things because it's not important to the story. Yeah. So I think once they drop that, more people are going to be more inclined, because that's the biggest issue that people have when they like look at One Piece. They're like, yeah, I don't want to watch 1,000 episodes. I just want to watch 12 episodes in a season and then get mad that the anime doesn't put out another season until 2 or 3 years, and then just say, oh man, I'm never going to watch that long episode. You know, just watch it. Just watch it. It's not that hard. Just watch it. If you don't like it, you don't like it. That's all you got to do. I usually tell people just watch 100 episodes. Watch 100 episodes of One Piece, and if you don't like it, it's not for you. And people are going to be like, well, that's a lot of episodes. It's 25, 22 minutes for the actual, like...
Yeah, you're talking like maybe 18 if you take out the intro and the outro.
Intro and outro and the recaps. It's like 18 minutes, and you're good. I think you can, what?
I remember it was, I think I was down with... I was either unemployed or I was down with COVID, one of the two, which they were almost damn near hand in hand. One came after the other. I think I might have actually been down with COVID. I think that's what it actually was. But for like 4 or 5 days straight, I'd wake up, like lay up in bed, because I think it was when I was with COVID, lay up in bed and just watch Death Note. Yeah. And there's like 30 something episodes of it. Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, I can kill that in a whole bunch of days. And it's, enthralling enough. If something catches like my attention enough, I can get through it. Like I got through the whole, like I'm not a reader whatsoever. Like I fucking hate it. But I'll read manga. I got through fucking all those omnibuses of Gantz, and that's 600 pages a piece, and there's 12 volumes.
Because I don't even know what that is about.
It's so fucking good. Oh my god. So this it's starting to get fuzzy because my brain pushes out information I don't need anymore. But it's basically, when you die, you go, you get reincarnated into a game, and the game is Gantz, and they later find out that it's run all over the world, but it's basically just this it's this giant black orb inside of a room that tells you, here's your target. It's an alien. You have to go kill this alien, and it gets progressively harder throughout the story for them to go and find and kill these aliens. But you have to get a certain amount of points for killing aliens, and based on your performance. But you get reincarnated, and you're if you complete a level or kill the alien, you get to just continue living your life. You're reincarnated, but if you die in the game, you die for real. Mm-hmm. So people are getting reincarnated and having to go kill these aliens, and they gain up enough points. Once you gain up enough points, you can either like end the game, like get out of the game, you're done. You can bring back somebody who died in the game, or you can get more powerful weapons. And it's the perfect mixture of like violence, storytelling, and like fan service. It's not excessive fan service, but like it makes sense.
Okay.
It
sounds good.
It's really fucking good. And the thing that bugs me is like there's so much more story because there's only 20 something episodes of the anime that went with it. And that cuts off at like the third or fourth omnibus, and there's so much more, and it gets so much better. But again, I can kind of see how it's like not as popular. Like it's more of like a cult type manga. The animator has this really strange obsession with like giant boobs, not like giant boobs, but like, you know, bustier women.
Yeah. Hey, sex sells.
It does, and it's enthralling, but it's not excessive to the point where it's like, okay, you're doing this all the fucking time. Like there are love scenes and they're like nudity scenes, like any good show has.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones had sex scenes and nudity and all that stuff, but it still made sense storytelling wise.
Shameless.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. That's completely different. No, I get you. I understand what you're coming from. Yeah, it sounds like a really good anime on it, or manga.
It's really good. I enjoyed it, and there's like spin-offs of it, and they just started to do the omnibus version of Gantz G, which is a spin-off of it, which I would prefer to read an omnibus just because it's, you know, instead of having to buy 20 different volumes, I can buy one with 3 in it. And, you know, not have to fill my shelf. Granted, it's a nice looking shelf with all the ones I have up there.
Did you have you caught up to all of Chainsaw Man?
I've caught up to those ones. So whatever you see up there,
what is this?
That was right after. Oh God, I think it's right after. Reze is the bullet demon.
So you haven't finished the original arc?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Because every time I go to Barnes and Noble with Jen, I forget which volume I want, and I don't want to skip a volume.
Why don't you just write it down?
Because I'm not that smart.
Just notes.
Because a lot of the time when we go to Barnes and Noble, it's on a whim. It's not just like, hey, we're gonna go. It's
write down right now. Like put it in your notes. I'm on Chainsaw Volume this. The next one I need to buy is
I think I'm on 11.
You know what I mean?
A couple of those I finished. Like Gantz, I finished. Gigan, I finished. Which Gigan is by the same person who did Gantz. Gigan is a lot more
almost looks like
explicit, but it's still a good story. It's basically this porn star ends up having to save the world. But like this loser high school kid falls in love with her.
Oh God!
And she gets this weird like timepiece that allows her to be like 50-foot tall giant to go fight these other 50-foot tall giants trying to destroy Earth.
Oh, look at that.
And it's kind of weird because I'm pretty sure he's like a high school kid and she's like an adult film star.
Sounds about Japanese, right? Hey, man.
But again, it's good. Like the amount of like fan service in that one's way more than in Gantz. Mm-hmm. Like Gantz, I can go a couple omnibuses without seeing a single pair of tits. This one, it's every book. Because you can't have a porn star, not just, you know.
Obviously.
You can't get 50 feet tall without destroying your clothes.
Obviously. Please just tell me they don't have bestiality in that.
No, thank God.
Thank God.
No,
I see you got slime.
The time I was reincarnated as a slime.
One of the best isekais. You need to watch or read Overlord. You would love.
Yeah, there's a couple of them that I have there that I still haven't touched. Like PTSD Radio is supposed to be just like a mind fuck of a manga. Status Royale is supposed to be really good that I still haven't touched. There's obviously the hardbound Vinland Saga I have. That's only the first one. Berserk is, I've read 2 of them and I'm just like, because the thing is, we talked about last episode, but yeah, I wake up so early. So like 8:30, dude, I'm fucking dead shit tired.
Yeah.
So like I will literally be on my phone, check my emails, couple minutes of TikTok, and I'm just like, fuck, I'm going to bed, be done, you know, out. So it's like I have trouble even getting through it. There's even a fucking Elden Ring manga, which I have the first 3 volumes of. I'm like, okay,
Oh
this
wow.
this fucks.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, the Death Note ones, which are really good. There, it's the black editions. All the edges of the pages are black, so the whole thing's colored black. Chainsaw Man.
Chainsaw Man, I
I think they're up to like 15 or 16 on the mangas, and I'm just behind. And
another one people are gonna hate me for. At a certain point, I start hating it because it does something, and I'm not gonna say it. Plot wise, at the end of the main arc, um, the resolve of what happens, I think is stupid. I think it's poor writing. I wish I can get into detail.
I feel like every manga though has its like lull moment if you have enough volume.
No,
You'll have
you
a
would think
down
that.
moment.
You would think that. Okay, so what's an anime that does it? What's an anime that does it? What's an anime that does
I'll
it?
tell you, there's
Have you ever heard of God of High School?
No.
I can't say then. I don't know another anime that does it. Because I usually, like, if I hear that's how it happens, I usually get turned off from it.
Mhm.
I in my personal opinion, it's a very, very bad way of writing a story on which what happens, what transpires. I think that it could have been handled differently, but that's just my own personal opinion. And for those that are fans, if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's basically what happens with the main like issue of the beginning of the story. What like how they finish it is just, I think, very lazy writing in my personal opinion. And I'm not sitting here saying like I would have been able to do better. I just wouldn't have went down that route because it's not that. Like, you've seen Attack on Titan.
Some of it, yeah.
You haven't seen the ending?
No.
What is wrong with you, man?
Come a lot.
Man, I wish I could explain to you in detail as to why I think it's bad, but it's okay. It's okay. It's all right. It's all right.
No, but like I felt the same way when reading through Gantz. There comes a point where it's like no longer aliens, it's like dinosaurs. Like, why the fuck are we trying to kill dinosaurs now? And it got so fucking boring, I almost gave up on it. And I was like, Omnibus 7 or 8 there. And I was like, nope, I need to push through it. I need to see if the next one, if it gets better. And it got way better.
Yeah, I mean, like, when it comes to like going over and doing the same thing, one of the biggest animes that I critique a lot is Fairy Tail. Fairy Tail uses the same animation.
I always see that too when I go to Barnes and Noble. It's like, this looks good, but I just don't know about it.
It's entertaining, but the thing about it is, I'm not too sure about the manga. The animation is what I watched it, and it just reuses the same animation, reuses the same moves. There's no dedication as to like the protagonists getting stronger, or I mean they basically like steal a character's design from One Piece. And it's hilarious because he's basically the mentor to the main protagonist, and you take both of them and you're like, yeah, he basically stole this from that.
It's like the same shit,
almost essentially. But it's just a good like watch. It's not something that you're gonna get there and get like a good quality storytelling. And like Berserk is, I hear that it's a great storytelling. It's great, art, and I've seen the art. The art's impeccable. Oh, no, yeah. But one of the biggest things that I don't think that like needs to be like a huge point is one character gets assaulted in a very sexual way, and that throws me off. That just makes me not want to like watch it. That makes me not want, and because it's not just that it happened once; it happens twice, and it's like, why do I need to sit there and like? Can't you just like pan to maybe like it like the beginning, not like showing anything. I don't want to see anything, but just like you get the idea, the premise of what's gonna happen, and then it can like go away, and then it can later say like what it transpired in words, and not sit there and like actually see it. I don't need to see that crap. Like just You know, it's just something that you shouldn't like put out there like that. And you know, God rest his soul, the author of it. I can't remember his name, but I just don't know. I don't personally think that that's something that I should be watching, or any
No,
kid in
but again,
Japan, or
shock value and
yeah,
and getting, because they're that's always been, you know, you get their attention by doing stuff that's like, holy shit, this is actually like,
crazy.
and then what they did is exactly what they wanted to do. They wanted you to get emotionally involved in it. You're like, you're upset that it's happening. You're upset that you're seeing it. You're upset that it's going down that way.
True.
Because the hardest thing to do in any storytelling is like, how far do you push it, and then how do you end it? Those are the two hardest things that you can ever do with a series. And there are very few series out there that end it the right way. Because you cannot tell me that I know you're a big Sopranos guy.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot, you finished it, right?
Yeah.
You cannot tell me that was the right way. It was the safe route, because then people could speculate what actually happened when the screen cuts to fucking black.
I get you.
But
I get
if you look at stuff where they actually went the full distance, like Game of Thrones, everyone was like, wow, this last season sucked ass. That ended, like, you basically just build up this whole climax just to slap everyone in the face.
You cucked everybody, yeah.
You cuck everyone.
Yeah.
And there's just so much. Like, there's some where you're just like, you know what? That's okay. Like, I can live with that ending. Like Breaking Bad. Like, I can live with that ending. That's the typical Scarface ending.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the bad guy finally gets what's coming to him. Well, the bad, you know.
Did you watch El Camino?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's the real.
Yeah, no, that's really good. But then, like, you have.
Did you watch Better Call Saul?
No. But you have, like,
bro,
you have people that
you gotta watch Better. I'm sorry to interrupt, but you gotta watch. Hey, look, I watched an episode. Not even the full thing. I watched just the first episode, like maybe 30 minutes. And I thought, man, this sucked. And then a couple years later, like last year, I watched all of it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what was I thinking? This has to be one of the best. I'm not saying that it is better than Breaking Bad. I'm not saying that it is on the same level. It's apples and oranges. It's not. They're two different things. It's on par. I think it's on par. It's so good. So freaking good. You get so much lore with Gustavo. You get so much, like, you get the whole aspect of how the cartel works, and like the trifleness behind the cartel and what's happening and everything. It just adds so much more to the Breaking Bad and El Camino movies. It's amazing. Yeah, I'm telling you, man.
Again, my time is just so.
I understand.
So torn with so much stuff. I gotta edit so much crap. I gotta film videos. Which, oh god, exactly. It makes me feel a whole lot better now. It's definitely a gear change from streaming. Mm-hmm. Just because I don't have to sit there and be like, I'm constrained to the schedule.
Yeah.
You know, if I want to film at 6 a.m, I can. If I want to film at 6 p.m, I can.
Yeah.
If I can push them out whenever I want to, because there's no specific date for it. Mm-hmm. And I can basically play whatever I want.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I can play whatever I want when I stream too, but it's the difference between playing a game where nobody's streaming it whatsoever, and I'm going to have just like the OGs there and have like 5 to 10 people, whereas I go post it on YouTube and there are people looking for videos of this, and I'm going to get 400 to 500 watching this.
Yeah.
Because of it. And, you know, it's just, I don't know. And then being able to not have to actively filter, because I know I can edit it out later, is so much better. And being able to take a break and walk away for a couple hours and come back and continue where I left off at without shit falling off. Because I know it's going to be posted later.
You should make a second channel where you have unfiltered stuff. Not like a premium service, like, subscribe to me, and every month you get to see the explicit stuff. Not that.
I already do that.
No, you shouldn't do that. I'm just playing. I shouldn't tell you. I shouldn't tell you what
I
to
cannot
do.
show tits on YouTube.
I get that.
Unless
not that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking like where I'm saying the most atrocious things in the world. Not that bad, but like I'm saying like cuss words left and right, you know, or maybe just you saying cuss words left and right, and then you just post it onto a second channel where you get viewers that like actually aren't PC,
I still
like
cuss.
PC friendly.
My shit ain't fucking PC. I'll still cuss. Like I said, I'm talking like shit I can't show.
Sure, fair enough.
If there's stuff, because this is where like the whole content thing gets blurry, because again, you have games where there is nudity, but it's like part of the story. But then of course you have games that are blatantly like, yeah, this is just a fucking porn game. You know, and like
My Haram Part 7.
I can push limits on YouTube. Like there are things I can push limits for.
Yeah.
But then there are things I just can't outright show.
Yeah.
I can't go and show like I push limits. There was one that I recently recorded called Amarillo's Butt Slapper. It's literally just a clicker game where you slap an animated ass. And you can unlock different butts to slap. And some of these butts have rendered vaginas. And I can't show that because there's sexual connotation behind it. But in the same respect, I can go play Heavy Rain, where it's story-driven, quick-time event, and she has like a shower scene that has no sexual connotation behind it, and that's part of the story, and that's allowed. The only thing I have to do is mark it 18+. So you can test the algorithm, which I've got a couple slaps on the wrist for testing the algorithm too far, which is fine because I just either erase the video or edit out that part, or I have the special graphic of me holding up a demonetized sign, like a prison sentence saying I can't show this on YouTube.
It's like playing Call of Duty, which is an M18 game, and then being in the chat and saying the F word that you don't like, and then getting banned. But you're in an M18 game and you should be able to say whatever you want to because you're literally killing people, and that's the point of the game. How does the F word level up to killing people? It just doesn't, unfortunately, in my opinion.
Violence versus object hatred towards a person.
Violence in which you end someone's life. The extreme aspect of it to making someone feel uncomfortable.
What's the difference between a crime and a hate crime? Exactly. What's the difference between a crime and a war crime? Which, speaking of war crimes, you need to get on Foxhole with us. Because
I'm committing war crimes. I play Power World. I'm enslaving.
Because
I'm enslaving beasts to do my bidding.
Because Josh,
while I make guns,
aka Oops All Beans, keeps telling us these, like, I got it for you and I got it for my brother because I know my brother's all about the, like, you know, he's big on like building games and shit that like you can still do shooting, but there's still other shit behind it.
Yeah, like Power World.
Yeah, for the most part.
You can base build, you can item drop.
And that's, oh god, it's just, I could tell you about it, and Josh did the same thing to me. He's like, I could tell you about it, or you can experience it for yourself. And that's the biggest thing, is it's not just like, hey, you're going to go to the front lines of this ever ongoing war and just try to battle out the front lines and just shoot everyone. That's not the whole part of the game.
Yeah.
If you don't want to go shoot people, you don't have to. You can go be artillery. You can go, and again, all this shit has to be built. It's not like it's just like, poof, here it is.
Is this like a live event game, or is
yes, it's still on. So look, I have an app on my phone called the War Report that literally shows the map getting fought for in real time because it's 24/7, never ending.
So it's like an arc, like what do you call it?
Yeah, so
like GTA servers where every server is ongoing, and you know you can build onto that server if you want to.
So blue is the Wardens, green is the Colonials.
Yeah.
You can see Farranek Coast is being fought for right now.
Yeah.
And there's a power struggle, but like it's basically where if you claim 32 territories, you win the war. But again, this is war 122, I think. So whenever somebody wins the war, they're in a rebellion phase, which is you do whatever the fuck you want for a couple days while we get everything reset and just, you know, and then the war restarts and you start from zero again. But what ends up happening is you have to get technology to learn shit. So you don't just start with like tanks and artillery and machine guns. You have to like learn. You'll start with like a basic semi-automatic rifle, maybe some medical supplies, basic like hauling trucks, and maybe within a few hours you'll have like one of those transportation trucks with a machine gun attached to the front.
Yeah.
But you could literally go, I think, to where we're at now. When I was checking, we're at like rocket trucks now. Where basically we're firing rockets out of the back of trucks.
Oh, nice.
And it's the greatest thing is because it's not just like, okay, cool, we run back the front, because there's always going to be a counter push.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many different fronts at one time.
Mm-hmm.
And you can either be like the difference, or you can be like help. So if you really don't want to be the one on the front line fighting in like a tank or in the trenches, or trying to do like anything, you can be just a logistics person where you're building all this shit to send to the front lines. You're building the tanks, you're building, you're crafting the ammo, you're crafting the guns. You can be the guy who's just running crates of all these supplies to the front line.
Man, that sounds like roleplay GTA.
Kind of, but it's isometric, so it's like top down, like
top down.
Not fully top down, but like Diablo 2 style top down, where it's like
Omni point of view.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like you don't get a first person point of view when like shooting, but you also don't have like supervision. So like if somebody's hiding behind something and you can't see them in your line of sight,
what happens when your guy dies?
You can either get like their medics that'll run around, and if you go down, you have 30 seconds of downtime. You could have somebody pick you up and run you out of the front line to get you revived, like by a medic. Or you just respawn at the nearest bunker base and you use basically shirts, which shirts are just like lives basically. So when your bunker base runs out of shirts, you can't spawn at that bunker base anymore.
Mm-hmm.
If it gets destroyed, it's gone. All your supplies that were in there are gone. You can't respawn there, and you can basically take all those like bunker bases you can put up anywhere, but then there are town bases and relic bases that are part of the world that you can claim for your own.
Mm-hmm.
And there are people that will go right when the war starts, they'll go right to the front line and want to fight. Then you have people like, okay, let's build up our base, let's start learning this, let's start getting salvage, so we could start building this, and we can start manufacturing all this.
It sounds good. It sounds amazing.
It's fucking fantastic.
It sounds
like
amazing.
Honestly, it's just the fact that I don't have to do the same thing if I don't want to. Like if I'm done on the front line, like, all right, I'm just gonna run. I'm gonna drive a truck from this seaport to the front lines where they need more supplies. Or you know what, I want to be a fucking spy. So what I'll do is I'll grab a recon kit and just go behind enemy lines on some fucking spy shit and just try to find out where they're running their logistics from and cut that off and destroy their trucks when they're on the way to the front line to help chokehold them. So like there's a shit ton more, and it's fun every fucking time.
It sounds amazing.
It is.
It sounds really, really fun, honestly.
So once you're done with jujitsu,
shit.
But you work at like, I mean, they're up at like 5 our time, and they go into like 10 our time.
I need to start
every day.
I need to start waking up at 4 to go to the gym again. I need to get back on that grind. But I haven't went to jiu-jitsu in 2 weeks because I need to start paying for it, and I don't have the money for it right now. Yeah, I'm just trying to play catch up from January. I got screwed over in my last job. But that sounds like a really fun game.
Oh, it is.
It sounds like a really fun game. I know you already bought it for me. I need to download it.
It's not that big of a game either.
No?
And so the thing is too, is there's multiple servers. So like if you don't want to go into Able server, which is like the main one, there's Charlie, which is just like the newbie server where you can learn all this stuff. And even you don't have to go into the live part to learn stuff. When you spawn in on an island, and that island you can go through basic training. Guns, artillery, logistics, mining, like all this stuff. And some of the shit's mindless. Like I could sit there and just hold left click to mine salvage to make ammo.
Yeah.
Or if I'm feeling lazy, there are people that submit a bunch of their logistics to just like the public. So it's like there's a joint effort between different regiments that are all colonial that will supply everybody, because when you run shit to the front line, everybody's using it. It's not just your regiment. Like you have different regiments within the faction, which we are part of the 420th. which is like
Nice.
the biggest faction of the Colonials.
That sounds amazing.
And it's like, yeah, I can't. I'm marking like in the last. I think I started playing it at the beginning of the year. Actually, I think when I started playing it, I already have like 120 hours in it
Damn.
in 2 months, and I was like, "Fuck, all right." Like,
You know what's one game that I need to get that I told John that I was gonna get and that we should play? Mines of Moria.
isn't that the fucking
Return-
the
re-
dwarf one?
Yeah, Return to Moria.
Like
Or
it's
something
like
that.
the like Lord of the Rings dwarf one, right?
Yeah, it's like a $20 game or something like that on Steam. He bought it and I never bought it and I haven't played it. I still have to play. I still have to finish Monster Hunter World with him, and I still have to buy the new Monster Hunter Wilds that are coming out. But I've been just stuck on playing Power World with Juan Carlos. It's been just a fun time. The Steam version is so much better.
Mhm.
It's so much better. Process is so good. What Stacks?
Oh, just bumming.
Bumming Stacks.
Yeah, no, I could mark out all day about Foxhole. It's just that, and the game came out like a while ago too.
Yeah,
Obviously
it's
because
still
they're on
just-
War 122, and they like I don't know how long the longest war has lasted, but this one I think we're on day like it's been almost a month since this war started.
Jesus.
I think
It
maybe
just-
maybe like 2 or 3 weeks. I don't know. I haven't. When did it start? Yeah, it started on the 11th, so it's been going for 2 weeks now,
Mm.
and it's a constant back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nobody like. It's not one of those things where you can like get really good at the game.
yeah, you
Like
just,
it's an equal playing ground. Like
Yeah.
everyone's good at their own shit, but you know, it takes skill to be really good at the game. Whether it's shooting, you know, or anti spy type shit.
Mhm.
Like you could, if you wanted to as well, you could be anti partisan, and you can go hunting for those guys that are trying to sneak behind your lines and go hunt them down. And that's the greatest part of it is it benefits you to be with somebody or with a group, but you
don't have to
can
follow.
go on your own,
Yeah.
but you're just know you're going to get your shit rocked if you run into something.
Yeah.
There's no like Call of Duty Super Soldier, I can take on 4 people at once. You have to be really good to take on 4 people at once.
Yeah.
And it's also the like it's I don't want to say camaraderie, but it's working together with these random fucking people.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't feel a need to go off on my own, but I see some dude building a fucking a watchtower.
You want to help them.
And I was doing like the spy work, and I was like, "Hey, I'll cover you while you do this in case anybody ever rolls up because you're building it so close to the front line."
Mm-hmm.
And that gets you like map intel, so you know where like enemies are because of watchtower.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on, like 30 minutes later, I'm on the front line like battling people. I go down, I'm bleeding out. Same guy who I guarded 30 minutes ago comes, picks me up, and runs me back to the medic.
That sounds like legit fun because, like you said, you don't have to do the same thing twice, and you sit there and it almost sounds a little like what's that? World of Warcraft almost, and not in the sense of the MMO style of it, but the ability to go and like do a bunch of different stuffs that help overall the game, and you're experiencing new stuff I actually wouldn't even be World of Warcraft. It would be more like RuneScape, where you're like you can level up different aspects, but you're not going to be like this master grand, I'm going to kill like 3 people at once or 4 people at once type of thing.
Well, and you can, but that's if you're like in a tank and they're like infantry. But even
Yeah.
still, infantry can fuck you up.
Yeah.
Like there's been shit where there'll be people like I've been in a tank before, been the gunner for a tank, and then all of a sudden fucking 12 guys just run up with anti-tank sticky grenades and like, fuck, back up, we're about to die.
Yeah.
And we get our shit rocked because
Yeah.
there's 12 dudes and I can't shoot 12 dudes at one time because they're all just engulfing from a trench,
Yeah.
which it's also trench warfare, which is fun as fuck.
Yeah, that's the best type of warfare, right?
But that's the cool shit too. It's like, oh, there's too many people in that trench. Let me throw a grenade. Let me throw a fucking gas grenade in there so they get smoked out. Oh, you don't have a gas mask? Shit, you're about to die.
Committing war crimes.
Yeah, committing war crimes. But and that's the thing is you could push your way all the way up past the front line. Like there's so many power struggles.
Mm-hmm.
Like for a town, like we took the Colonials took a town yesterday, pushed all the way up into the next town in front of it. Get on today, they're pushed all the way back out.
Yeah.
Because you have people getting on different times. I mean, there's Russian. Like I've run into so many Russians there. Like it's just different times that people are on, but it's always constantly going. So there's always people making shit, running shit to the front lines, battling for the front lines.
Yeah.
Tank warfare, artillery warfare, naval warfare too.
Yeah.
Like you have to be careful because a fucking naval gunship could just roll up and start rocking your shit, and you can't do anything because you're on land.
Yeah.
And they're in a fat armored fucking gunship.
They're like freaking what's his name in that movie? The Green Goblin character, William Dafoe. He's all looking up at the sky like, oh, please God. Oh man, I need to get into other games. Honestly, I have a hard time now, like trying to finish my single player games.
That's the hard part about gaming too.
Like, I used to be so good at, you know what it is?
But
you know what it is? I saw it with something
comfort
else.
game.
I saw it with something else. What it was is at a certain point, like when I think maybe like around high school, I started seeing people that like wouldn't click on the notifications for text messages, and then they started like really like, oh, I have you would see on someone's screen 5,000 text messages, and then you start like thinking like, oh, he's important, he's getting 5,000 text messages. No, everybody wants to talk to this guy, he's so cool, he's so, he wanted, or whatever the case may be. And then like everybody started doing that, and it just became this fad. I saw a lot of people like that started happening, right? And I kind of did the same thing, and then I was like, you know what? Who gives a crap? Who gives a fuck? Then, like when I was 22, I like stopped playing a lot of single player games, and like I would see people that wouldn't play single player games, and I just start doing the same thing as them, and I was like, why the fuck does this matter? But now I can't. It's hard for me to like get into a single player game. I haven't finished Cyberpunk. I haven't finished the first Spider-Man.
I finished my second playthrough of Cyberpunk. It's that good.
I know it's good. I've played it. I've played it enough to know that it's good. I bought it twice. Still haven't fucking finished it. I haven't finished any of the Drake. Oh, the first Drake I finished, but I haven't finished the other ones. I haven't finished. I bought Hogwarts for like $15 or something.
But this is what computer gaming does to you. Do you know how many games I've actually like played in my library versus how many I have?
But it started in PlayStation for me.
True.
It started because all those sales would come up, and I'm just like, oh, I can get this game. I beat Red Dead Redemption, and it dragged for me a little bit. And the game was amazing. I thought it was great. I loved Red Dead Redemption 2, but it was hard for me to just sit there and just play it all the way through, because there's like times where I just want to play Madden or college football and watch something. Yeah. Like I put on like a movie that I've already watched 1,000 times, like Total Recall or something like that. And I'm just like listening to the movie while mindlessly playing a game. And then I just don't want to sit there and think, honestly. And that's what ends up happening. I'm just like mindlessly playing college football. I'm already on like season 7. I've like the best recruiter ever. And it's like, I've never lost a game. And I'm like, this doesn't benefit me. But it scratches an itch that like I can't scratch.
You would, if you gave it like a week, you would fall in the same way to Foxhole, where you can just mindlessly do shit, have something else on to help you fully dissociate, and when you want to like actively engage, that's when you go to the front line and just start like trying to push somebody back or start getting with people to like, because some of the coolest interactions I've had are with random fucking people. Like the dude who I protected while I was building a watchtower. Like we ran to each other a couple times, and then there's this one time where this guy's like, "Hey, I need a fucking gunner for my armored my APC." I was like, "Dude, I'm in." And for like an hour, we had a fucking blast where we were just gunning down infantry people trying to push up on our relic base.
Nothing is better than like finding a random person in a game and just like playing 2 or 3 hours with them.
And that's the thing too, is they're just like
they're just as chill as you are.
And since you're on the same side of the war, it's like, all right, we're working together. I don't give a fuck. Like, you see people go down and you're like, it's Saving Private Ryan shit. It's like, I'm not letting you fucking die, soldier.
Yeah.
We're getting your shit, like, and you're running them back. I think I ran around with a dude for like 5 minutes trying to find a fucking medic this morning until we finally found one. He's like, dude, I appreciate you. I was like, I wasn't going to let you fucking die.
Yeah.
When he could have respawned in 30 seconds, but we would have lost the shirt.
Yeah.
You know, and then he can go back and not have to run as far.
Yeah.
Or, you know, there was like some dude's like, hey, I need somebody to shoot off this artillery while I'm spotting.
Mm-hmm.
And we were fucking blowing up dudes on the other side of a bridge.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just spotting, calling out, hey, this is where you're shooting. Here's your distance. Here's your azimuth. Like, fire. Like,
yeah, it's amazing. Man.
And just, you run into the coolest shit.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just so, it's not boring. It's
Yeah.
like when you're on the front, it feels like, yeah, I'm in a fucking war.
Yeah.
And this gets crazy. Like, you could sit on a mounted machine gun and then you see fucking 12, 13 Warrens rolling up with just grenades ready to blow up your bunker.
Yeah.
But you're just mowing them down. And sometimes they get through. Or you can show up and there's like a tank line of like 4 or 5 of your tanks. You're like, all right, let's fucking roll.
Yeah.
Or you're trying to push them back and all of a sudden it's like, shit, here come 4 to 5 tanks. Let me go run the fuck away because I'm about to get blown the fuck up.
Yeah. I played GTA 5 a lot on like PlayStation. I played it so much that I've bought and resold cars just for the fun of it. I mean, you don't get the same value as fucking buying a car and fixing it up when you sell it at the end of it. You don't. You lose. It's like real life. You lose like legit money off of it.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, however long it takes for you to gain that money, which is never easy or fast, unless you purchase some money. But I played so many hours on it, and I would find people, and I would get in my the mounted 50 cal turn like SUV, and I would just find random people low level, and I'm like, get in really quick, and then we just go and just start mowing down people. It didn't matter if they were like PC or like you know, the NPCs or not. It was just fun. And then you started getting people that were just super sweaty.
Yeah.
On the freaking flying freaking turbo
Oh god,
I can't remember what it's called right now. The MK2 oppressor. And I'm just like, oh, stop it. Just like, look, I get it. You bought it. Like, you're winning. I'm when you run out of your 25 rockets, you'll have to call another one. Just know you have to do that. But it gets so annoying when, like, at that point. Last time I played it on PC. I legit, because you can't, if you purchase like money through the game, you cannot transfer your old profile from PlayStation or console over to PC.
That's stupid.
So I had to make a new character. I had to make a new everything. I did it, and I started playing, and like I'm low level. I don't have a weapon. I don't have a car. I'm gonna have to do everything. I put a little bit of money on it. I was able to buy one business, so I can start just accumulating money through that. And then I get, like, you know, those people that are just level 1,000 whatever, and they just start killing me when I'm trying to just run like a business operation. And I literally just sit there and I'm like, yeah, go ahead. I'm like typing into the like chat, like, continue to kill me, like you're the best. I'm glad you're the greatest around. You never lost, huh? Daddy never touched you in the wrong way. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. But that's like, I'm like sitting there like typing stuff like that, and then like they're like, oh, you're just mad that I'm killing. I'm like, dude, you're literally killing someone that can't like use the same weapons as you. How are you benefiting in this?
You're a grown man kicking a golfer. Like, congratulations.
Like, what if this was a kid and his first time playing?
Yeah.
Like, what then? Like, are you just gonna sit there and just justify you like senselessly mowing down this person for no reason?
Well, because it makes them feel superior. Like, what do you mean?
God, man, people are just so like.
It's because they're just like, oh yeah, like let me go kill this level 10. And I'm a level 1,000. It's like, dude, that's like Michael Jordan bragging about slam dunking on a 5-year-old. It's like, cool, dude. He's like 5 feet short, you know, or whatever. He's 3 feet shorter than you, has no athletic ability, and he's just rather pick his boogers and try to guard you up.
Yeah, it's stupid. It's
like, why don't you go have, you know, Jordan try to dunk on Shaq? Oh yeah, why don't you go pick on somebody who's also level 1,000 and see how well you do? Oh, I can't do that. It's like, exactly.
So I do the same thing in Call of Duty now. I'm so much more better on keyboard and mouse. It's disgusting.
Well, yeah, because you have the full control, and that's, you don't have dead zones. Like with controllers, you have stick dead zones.
Yeah.
With this, wherever you're going, that's where you're going. If you want to make a big full fucking sweep and turn
dude,
Turn around 3 times, you can.
it gets to the point where I'm like bored. I like legit get bored, and like I love playing with my girlfriend and her best friend.
Mhm.
It's honestly really fun, but like I get on and I'm like I get so bored. I start using guns I don't even like. Like I don't use shotguns. I rarely use shotguns in multiplayer, but I'll run a shotgun for the fun of it because it's harder to kill people.
I'll tell you though, like I didn't find like a appreciation for all these other games until I stopped playing Call of Duty. I honestly have not touched like Call of Duty in probably a couple years, even let alone almost like a first person shooter.
I love Black Ops. I don't like Modern Warfare. I'm not a big Modern Warfare person. I don't like Activision. I'd rather play with Treyarch. That's just my personal opinion. I think it's just it's just better.
But I feel like it's just like Call of Duty just clouds everyone's opinion on like what a game should actually be.
Well, it's like the most popular multiplayer game, so it's like your friends are playing, their friends are playing it. You know, it doesn't matter. Like it's always gonna have servers live. You know, but the problem with that, the problem with it is that now it's just a money grab. Back in the day, every like big major like update, you get what like 2 to 4 zombie maps, 2 to 4 regular multiplayer maps, at least 2 guns. Now it's like here's just one zombie map. Everything's really easy to do.
And here's a $20 cosmetic bundle.
And here's yeah, like I saw the other day. I don't even play it so like a lot anymore, but like they have the Ninja Turtles on there.
It's like $60 for them.
For all of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I want them, but I don't play it enough to justify getting
How
them.
can you justify? Because that's a full AAA title price for 4 skins and maybe some.
They don't even have a bundle one where if you buy all 4 of them or whatever, however many they are, because I think they have Shredder or not Shredder. They have the Rat. I can't remember. Splinter, Master Splinter. Like you get all 5 of them, you could buy it for $50 or some shit like that. Nah, that's just too easy.
No, because it's a money grab because they know what they have and they know that people are going to spend money on that. Yeah. And that's why they're doing all these crossover things. That's why they did like, you know,
Arnold Schwarzenegger. They did Terminator. They did
the whole Halloween thing with Ghostface.
Oh yeah.
Freaking the Diablo crossover with like Azrael and all those characters because they know it's a money grab and they know like, oh well, if we integrate this with other stuff that people know, because I guarantee you if they're like, hey yo, check this out, we're gonna have a Luffy skin, you'd be like, done, bought.
Funny enough, I didn't do that for Apex Legends.
There's a Luffy skin in Apex Legends?
There was a Luffy skin in Apex Legends. Yeah, it was what's his name? Octane. Octane was Luffy. It was an anime like one, so like there was a My Hero character. I can't remember who it was. There was Luffy. I can't remember the other 2. There were the other 3.
But it just becomes a shill on a money grab. Like I said, I started to have a better appreciation for other games when I stopped playing Call of Duty.
I think the biggest appreciation that you can have for like, okay, here's a single player game that I can just rinse and repeat play. Baldur's Gate.
True.
I can play that in Skyrim. But Baldur's Gate, man. I wish more companies were like that. I wish a lot more companies like, but you know what? It's also the buyer's issue too.
Mm-hmm.
We have short attention spans. We want the newest and greatest and best thing.
Well, then
out.
You can, you know, people will be like, "Oh, let me get in a game of Call of Duty before I go to work." You can have a 10-minute match and then go. Whereas you're not going to sit around for a 6 to 8 hour campaign. Like some people, you'll get to that, but you don't want to have a campaign that's too short that people are like, oh, that fucking sucked. Why was it only 6 to 8 hours? But then you can't also have a campaign that's like 40 to 50 hours because, like, dude, that's a full work week. And, you know, it's something that you have to enjoy. Like when I looked at my hours in Foxhole, I'm like, fuck, I've already played 120 hours in 2 months. Like, shit. But that means I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and I can't tell you how many hours I've probably sunk into Diablo 2, like throughout its different versions. Because I've always like left it, came back to it, since it came out in like early 2000s. Like I still have the disc, the original disc that it came on with the CD keys.
That's awesome.
And even when they came out with Resurrected, like I probably dropped couple thousand hours in Diablo 2 over my lifetime, of course, in the last 25 years since it's been out.
Mm-hmm.
But now that there's like Steam has an hour counter, like okay, fuck, I've actually put 600 hours into Binding of Isaac since it came out, or 400 hours into Counter-Strike 2, or 120 hours into Months Over Foxhole. But it like you have to be able to enjoy it. And I know some people like enjoy it, but also I think like the esports side and like streamers, like they don't, not like calling out a specific one, but like streamers or content creation has really like skewed video game trends. The same way TikTok has skewed music trends, streaming has skewed gaming trends.
Yeah,
for sure. Because you
Yeah.
have people like, you can't tell me that Fortnite, Call of Duty, Apex Legends, and all those battle royales would be famous if it wasn't for people like Tim and Ninja and Doc and Nick Merckx and Nick Aether, like all those big streamers that play these games 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. Like you can't tell me people aren't, and they're streamers, but they're also influencers.
Yeah, there are. I mean,
because they see
who
this.
wouldn't like to be able to find the mechanics on your controller or your PC setup, in which it enables you to be able to be reactively faster, do 360 shots, no scopes, all this other BS, and be able to repeat that in your own home and gaming settings, and then be able to show all your friends that you are just as good as these streamers and all this other stuff. Yeah, who wouldn't want to be?
But also, you look at it and how stuff gets like influenced by what people see or
Yeah.
what they hear. It's like there have been so many songs and artists that like you would never hear these people in a million years if they didn't become a trending sound on TikTok. And my prime example, and I love listening to them, is Suicide Boys.
Yeah.
Before they broke the glass ceiling with their song "And to Those I Love," thanks for showing up.
Yeah.
They had put out 16 albums before that, and that's the one that broke. So album 17 was.
I
the
mean,
one
look at Post Malone.
Yeah.
I mean, he made country music before he started rapping, and he makes one song and it breaks, and the people close to him told him not to release that song.
That's still my biggest flex ever, is that I'm in the first 2% that listen to Post Malone on Spotify.
Yeah.
Because White Iverson was my shit.
Yeah, White Iverson was
Hence
amazing.
why I have the fucking Stony vinyl.
Yeah. Yeah, White Iverson was. I remember first listening to that. I'm like, oh, what the? I was at a barbershop. I'm like, dude, what song is this? And they're like, oh, it's this new cat named Post Malone.
I remember it was because of a guy named Mike Busey, who owns this thing called the Sausage Castle, which is like just the most outlandish fucking like Florida. It's Florida Man the House, basically. Mm-hmm. And there was a guy who I followed named Charlie Classic who like went to go live at the house for a few months, and then I followed them on Snapchat. Every single fucking day they were listening. I was like, I need to listen to the song. And I was like, the song is actually really fucking good, and I'd play White Iverson forever.
Yeah.
And like, I like Post Malone, but I don't like country Post Malone. Like
I don't prefer country in general.
I can't do that. I don't like this whole like him and Jelly Roll and Beyonce doing country. It's like just I don't leave country to the country people.
Yes.
But like I understand your need to like transition, but like evolve as an artist. But you could evolve in the same genre.
Yeah.
I just feel like country. Some people shouldn't do country. And I don't want to talk bad on Beyonce because she'll probably find me, but it's like Beyonce doesn't want to do country. Beyonce's a pop star.
Wait, she's gonna find you?
Yes. She controls the music industry. She'll find me.
Oh, find you?
She'll find me.
Oh, okay. I was about to say find you.
No, you haven't heard of that?
No.
You haven't heard of like that's why all these people go up and thank Beyonce when they win an award that she's also in that same category? Because like her and Jay-Z control the music industry.
Yeah, I know that they can basically control the music industry.
And how like the conspiracy that why Jay-Z named his album 444, that it's him, Diddy, and Beyonce, and that they control the industry and they basically like run everything.
I can see that. And
that they were responsible for getting rid of Aaliyah and getting rid of Left Eye because Aaliyah and Jay-Z had a thing going on. And Beyonce was like, fuck that, and they can basically make or break a career, and they also kind of run like the Grammys.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to tell me that Beyonce's country album was album of the year.
No, I get what you're going with. Yeah. No,
But it's
I
one of those
believe
things where I can believe it to the degree where there's a lot of stuff that's it like almost goes back to wrestling where like it's predetermined, but it's also like it's run by people because it's an entertainment industry.
Yeah.
You want stories that are gonna, engross people and enthrall people.
Yeah, I mean, look at what happened with Kendrick and Drake.
Right?
You know, everybody. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're even not a fan of rap music. You know exactly what's going on.
Earlier we said sexist, but controversy sells too.
Yeah, controversy sells.
Because
it's basically like war, essentially.
If you have Beyonce winning album of the year, you have people taking Twitter to be like, Beyonce shouldn't have won. It should have been so and so. It should have been Taylor Swift, or it should have been, Travis Scott, or whatever, whoever it should have been.
Yeah.
But again, it's what's going to cause controversy and what's going to make a story.
Yeah.
Do you really think that people would have like publicized? Do you think they really would have shown Chris Rock getting slapped if it wasn't like, hey, that's going to get some fucking attention?
Yeah, because I think it was like
because so many people want to know what the fuck happened, so they're gonna search it up. They're gonna go look for it.
Well, not only that, but I think that's funny that you mentioned that because I want to remember hearing stories about like the lead up to that award show and saying like, oh, it has been lackluster in the last couple of years.
So
and
what
that,
you get to
and
it,
that happened, and it's like, damn, that's crazy. And everybody talked about it.
You get Chris Rock making a ball joke and Will Smith being like, and again, Will Smith defending his wife who had publicly came out and said, I cheated on my husband with this person like a year or two ago. Like, I don't know about you, but like any normal human being, if you're like, my significant other went and slept with another person, I'm not fucking staying together with them.
The thing is, the biggest thing about that though,
especially it's a celebrity. You can't like I understand. We both understand because we're in relationships that have been years long. Mine's been over a decade long. You have a really deep connection with yours. Like you have that deep connection and that's your person. But also like if that person like betrays your trust, how would you feel about it?
Well, look,
but I don't know. It's one of those things where I'm like kind of like, you really mean to tell me that she openly admitted it and that she like broke, I wouldn't say the rules, but like the sanctity of marriage to go sleep with somebody else and publicized it too, like fully fucking published. Like this was out in the public. It was a situation or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever the shit she said.
Situationship.
But like, and then he's still gonna go out and fucking smack Chris Rock because he made a ball joke on Jada, who suffers from alopecia. Like,
well,
that sells.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong in your opinion.
It's the same fucking reason why these dudes on TikTok would be like, dude, can you believe that the aliens actually crashed in Area 51? It's stories. It's stuff that'll incite rage, that'll incite intrigue. It's the same reason why so many people are willing to argue, is the earth round or is it flat? Because people will never admit they're wrong and, just be like, nope, it's flat. I know it because we have this. And then they'll get disproven like, oh, well, no, it's still flat, but we just proved that it was round. Or whatever. Like, yeah. I had this fucking conversation a while back, like a decade ago, when I was working some odd job at Levi Stadium with some guy who was like, yeah, I think the world's flat. And I was like, well, what about the sun? Like, how could the sun be up in on the other side of the world and it'd be dark for us? And he goes, oh, well, the funny thing is since it's flat, it's a disc, and there's this giant turtle that turns on and off the light. I'm like, but how's it on for the other half of the world and off for us? How can I, by your logic, I should be up here, I should be able to look and see all the way to Los Angeles from here, but yet I can only see like to the mountains.
Hey.
Or I'm not seeing the front door of the hotel that's a couple miles away. I'm seeing the top of it. Make that make sense?
Hey man, I mean, some people just they didn't properly secure their head in traumatic injuries, maybe riding a bike or something, or
Antonio Brown.
Man,
head injuries.
Like, okay, so the whole breakdown of that argument was amazing.
I know, right?
Okay, so
welcome to Why Are You Wondering, where we start on one object and just somehow end up in Antonio Brown and CTE. Oh God, no! My brain just okay. I'll let
No,
you
go
talk.
ahead. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say because CTE is like it's everyone freaks out, right?
Mhm.
Like this isn't the same Kanye, and it's like, in my opinion, yes, it's the same Kanye, but it's a prime example of CTE. Because what happened to him? He was in a major car crash,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And his song "Through the Wire," my mouth was wired shut. Got airbag, all this stuff. Not too cool for the safety belt, whatever. Brain injury, but with CTE, it just erodes your brain over time,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why he's getting crazier and crazier. The same way it happened to Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown, perfectly good player, coming out of college, takes that hit from Vontez Burfict that knocks him out. CTE just completely degrades his brain, and he goes crazy and is walking off in the middle of the game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, being signed to the Raiders, going barefoot into a cryo chamber, like doing just all this outlandish shit. But it's CTE, which makes me fear for people like Tua, who takes so many fucking concussions.
Well,
even WWE people,
yeah,
taking chairs, like they guard themselves now, and you're not really allowed to do a chair shot straight to the head. But when we were growing up, they would take a steel chair just straight to the brain, no hands up, no nothing, just think. But that's like, it's CTE.
Yeah.
And that's what, is it Kanye? Yes, it's probably still the same Kanye, but two things. Aging, your face is going to change as you age. I don't look the same I did fucking 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't look the same I did when we both worked at Amazon fucking 5 years ago, 4 years ago.
Yeah.
But then CTE, that's why he's going crazy. That's why he's doing all this weird shit, because in his brain, it's like, oh, this is normal.
Yeah.
This is how I feel. This is what I'm going to do. But everyone's like, this is not the same one. It's a replacement from, the Illuminati. No, I don't think it's a replacement. I just think he's suffering from brain injury that nobody realizes because he's not like a sports star who, is in a high contact sport, and it just developed over the last, 15, 20 years since he hit the limelight.
Well, look, there's a lot of breakdown there. I think the most important thing you have to look at is there's a couple of different, moving parts here. One, I think that controversy, like we've talked about, sells.
100%.
Now, having been with a Kardashian, there's some things that happen. Okay, there's some
Kardashians are a death wish. Let's just
be honest here, right?
So there's Kardashians a death wish.
Look what happened to Kim's stepfather. Nothing happened that he didn't want. I guess I'm not gonna assume anything.
Let's just run down the list of what has happened to people that have dated Kardashian. Caitlyn Jenner, obviously, at one point. Bruce.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that.
Chris Humphries, career dead. Reggie Bush, career dead. Lamar Odom, overdose, career dead. Kanye, insanity. The only person
Travis Scott.
Yeah, I was like, he's the only one who's made it out so far relatively unscathed.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, there's that, right? There's that. Then
I think because isn't Travis Scott technically not with a Kardashian but a Jenner, right? Because he's with Kylie.
He's with Kylie.
So that's technically
he was with Kylie. I don't think they're together anymore.
I think that's technically a Jenner, so I think that's why he's coming out unscathed.
Well, and then there's okay, so look at what happened to Dave Chappelle.
Oh my God!
Everybody, he went crazy. He went to Africa. He's no longer doing comedy anymore. Blah 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 blah. This blah blah blah. Realistically, he was in Ohio on a farm that he owns, where he's genuinely from, married to his Asian wife, having kids, and he's going to these places that don't require you to pay $20,000 for a ticket to watch him do live comedy. He's going to just Joe and Schmo's bars and doing comedy specials there, and nobody's really paying attention to him because the executives of the entertainment industry don't want you to pay attention to it. They want you to believe that he's going crazy. So there's also that fact that can be possibly coming up. He could very much just also be crazy too, Kanye. Not Dave Chappelle, but Kanye.
Yeah.
I think, my personal opinion, he's been bipolar. He's said it, so he takes medication for that, along with a traumatic brain injury, dealing with the Kardashians. being very well off and then losing all your money and then coming back, it adds a bit of jadedness, it adds a bit of craziness to you that is, you're not like, no human is made to be famous. Let's just put that
No,
out there.
that
No, we do not have the capabilities to handle that
well,
pressure.
because then you have people all up in your shit 24/7.
Yeah.
You have people at your house
Yeah.
at 4 a.m.
When you're just trying to go do something.
You're going to get your fucking morning Starbucks, and people are just cameras, photos, videos. It's like a celebrity is like
your kids, everything you do, everything you throw
everything is
away,
so publicized.
yeah. So it's like
You can
that
fucking
pressure-
miss the trash can with your Starbucks cup, and people are like, "Oh my god, fucking Richard from Wired and Wandering's a litterer." It's like he hates Mother Nature
and
littering.
and
But no, it's like that's the
smoking
shit.
reefer.
Is you cannot escape. Like you have nothing to yourself,
yeah.
which is so understandable. Is like why people are either like, if they're such that publicized celebrity, they want to just escape and disappear, like
Yeah.
Chappelle did.
Yeah.
Why? Like, it wasn't the fact of turning down money; it was like preserving his
Him.
sanity.
Preserving himself, really. And that's another thing, it's the morals. So like
Mhm.
the fact that Will Smith went back to, I personally did a lot of research about the relationship between men and women, between masculine men and feminine women. And my personal viewpoint of what I learned was that if you don't stay in your masculine, a feminine woman isn't going to treat you as you should. So at some point, Jada was with Tupac, a man's man.
Okay.
And then you go and start dating a teenage star, or not teenage, they weren't teenagers at the time, but a star that plays in a teenage family TV show like Will Smith did. And those aren't two of the same people. I think Will Smith came from the ghetto. I can't remember what, I know that his father left him, and that's a real thing. So but that's not like living and growing up in Compton. That's not the same aspect. That's like how between me and my brothers are. I didn't grow up living in the ghetto and being around my family members that were also into gang activities and stuff like that. I was able to watch it from the outside point of view 10 years later down the road, because I'm 10 years separated from those family members, my brothers. So I lived in the ghetto. I never like went through the same struggles as them. So in all reality, I never experienced it like they did. And I'm not the same person as they are. I'm not as hardened by the world as they are. I'm not, I don't have those viewpoints. I don't have that like energy in me as they did. So when you go from having a masculine man like Tupac to this guy who is a famous, TV star, it's not gonna be the same thing. And then you start realizing like that this guy is not like, he's not that type of guy that I needed or wanted in the end. And you start doing stuff like cheating on him, or et cetera on those moralities.
This is the one rare time where I'm gonna like kind of go against you, because it's like the lines are so blurred now. Like there's nothing wrong with being like, as men growing up, we are always told like, and like I always get so much shit for this, is like I am just king compartmentalizer. I do not cry. I stuff shit down. I fucking just repress the fuck out of it.
There's a difference between toxic masculinity, which I don't think is an actual real thing, but just like toxic traits in a masculine person. I believe as a masculine man that there are times in which you should cry. There's emotion. That's an emotion you should experience it. You're a human. But what I'm trying to say is like, so let's say that I'm dating a person, not my girlfriend right now, but let's say I'm dating a person, and that person I find on their phone text messages of them talking to another guy. What do? As a masculine man, in my belief, I'm going to think to myself that this person that I'm dating is of lesser value, lesser morale, lesser quality of a person that I believe I should date. What do? I'm sorry, unfortunately, I don't see this continue going any further. I hope all the best for you. I'm not gonna talk shit. I'm not gonna fucking put her down or anything. I'm just gonna say, look, I don't want this, unfortunately. This is just for you to you do what you want to on your own time. I don't want to be a part of someone that isn't going to be loyal to me.
I feel like that's okay. So here's
And I'm gonna walk away. That's I believe in a very masculine way.
you believe in a traditional sense, whereas like this, like that's my woman, and she shouldn't really have male friends.
Not no, okay. She can have male friends, but the thing is, if they are talking in a sense of like, in a way of more than being a friend.
You can't put that on her though. That's not her. If she's not reciprocating the same, you can't fault her for that.
What do you mean? Like, no, what I'm saying is like they're going back and forth.
If he's the one acting like a testosterone-driven male and is flirting with her, and she is not reciprocating the same type of,
that's a different story.
Okay, so you're saying if they're going back and forth like that,
at the same time, I have to look at my woman and say, now, if you give him a chance of saying, hey, let's have sex, or let's do something sexual, and he says yes, he's not your friend. He is interested in more than being your friend. He's not a true friend. You get me?
Okay, yeah, no, because I was just saying, because there have been many a time in my life, with because again, I have a lot of female friends that I get along with.
Yeah, I have a lot of female friends that I get along with.
And she has a lot of male friends that she's had in her lifetime that she gets along with, but it comes down to a comfortability point.
Yeah,
where I trust her.
Yeah,
in that same sense, to be like, you know what? Does it bother me in a sense? Sure, but I know I trust her enough to either A, if he tries something, shut it the fuck down, because I really hope she sees him as like a brother or a friend at the very most.
Yeah.
And not as some like, you can call somebody like you could be an attractive human being, but not be attracted to them. Like I can look at people and be like, that's an attractive human.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean I want to jump their fucking bones.
Exactly. No, I get exactly what you're saying.
But it comes down to comfortability. That like, I trust my partner to not act on those. And if somebody is trying to do that, either A, they know me, because a lot of like, even vice versa.
Yeah.
A lot of her guy friends have met me. They know me. They like me.
Yeah.
A lot of my friends who are girls or girlfriends have met her and love her.
Mm-hmm.
But there's that level of trust. Like, hey, I'm going to go hang out with so-and-so. All right, cool. Have fun.
Yeah.
You trust that. It's a mutual trust.
Yeah.
And, going back to like the traditional, like what I was saying, masculine and feminine roles, is it's such a blurred line now that you can have women that are so strong and powerful and independent and self-sustaining that are in these successful relationships, but you also have men that can be the same exact thing and they work.
Yeah.
There's no like there can still be traditional roles for men and women, but you have this thing where you have women that could be in men's roles. You could have men that be in women's roles. There's stay-at-home dads.
Of course.
When it used to just be stay-at-home, hey, mom's taking care of the kids, cooking, cleaning. Well, now you have dad is staying home, cooking, cleaning, while mom's at a Fortune 500 company being the CEO, pulling $150,000 a year, supporting the whole family, and dad's holding down the kingdom.
I think the issue is that you are identifying me by saying traditional or like masculine, that it indicates the way we see it in our parents, and that's not how I see it. That I can understand your perspective of wanting to see it that way, because I have the same inclination when I see my parents. But in my personal opinion, so here's a good example. The coworkers that we talked about earlier that I didn't know that were dating, I'm not going to say it out loud or anything like that, where I thought that person shouldn't be with that other person. It works like that. And the girl, and I've said it before, that she has a masculine armor over her. You can have that masculine armor, but when you have the right masculine male, it allows you to take off that armor when you need to. Right. Well, and then that's what you should be whenever you want to. That's how I believe masculine.
Well, I can tell you, for the longest time in my life, there was always there was armor. There was always a shield up. But it's like when I got with my wife, like this is like, that's how because you can be yourself. You can take off your armor. You can let your shield be down. Yeah. And they're not going to judge you.
Yeah. Like I love it when I don't give a crap. I love it when my girl cuddles me to sleep. I just do. Hey,
Sometimes you like to be the little spoon. You know?
I love to be the little spoon. You know how big I am comparatively to her? I love it. You know? That doesn't make me any less than a man than I am.
No,
and if someone wants to sit there and say that it does, hey, that's fine. That's what you want to believe.
But
that's
there
cool.
are people that will do that and be like, "Oh, well, you can't do this, this, and this." It's like I am completely fine with the dynamic that I have.
Yeah,
because it works.
Yeah.
But then there are people out there who are like, "Oh, well, you're the man. You should be, doing this and that
Listen,
and this."
If there's a man out there and you feel like you're feminine in the sense of like you have a woman that takes care of you, they go to work and you stay at home or anything, there's nothing wrong with that. That's your dynamic of your relationship. I'm just talking about my viewpoint of my relationship and how I see me and my woman. I'm not sitting there saying that you're wrong for having that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. It's just the dynamic of what I was talking about. Now, let's say you do have the feminine man and the masculine woman. It's going to work because you have one that is of the difference between the two. You can't have the two same.
I think it needs to be a different
clash.
type of thing, because feminine just has this connotation of being like so feeble and weak, where it's like,
it doesn't though. It's loving, caring, and receiving. But it's just people have put a negative connotation to things because they think of it as wrong. Look, okay, right. Can you have women construction workers?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you can. But reality, what is the dynamic of like the percentage between male construction workers and female construction workers? You get what I'm saying?
Well, it's the same thing.
Nature. It's the nature of the beast.
It's the same thing when we were both working that sales job. We had what? We had 20 people in the store, what worked for it. At best, I think it was like a 15-5 split.
Yeah.
It's not that they can't do it. It's the fact that it's just like they would rather. It's hard to fucking say this in like a way that doesn't seem like
it's negative. Yeah, I know. Trust me. Okay. What percentage of what's the percentage between female and males working at elementary schools? It's going to be higher women.
Yeah.
And because women are naturally loving and caring and are in a strong feminine role to be able to do that with kids. There's nothing wrong with that.
You can't. I feel like teacher, you can't like say that. I mean, again, you're molding the future, and again, I can't because I've never been a fucking teacher. But I feel like you can't start like. Are there jobs that are more tailored towards like muscularity? Like, yes, but you can also say that like. You could put a woman out on an oil rig and she'll work just as well as the dude, if not harder, to prove a fucking point.
Here's the biggest thing, right? And there's nothing wrong with this idea. If you took a WNBA All-Star, the best of the best,
that's different.
and you put them in a NBA like one-on-one match. Unfortunately, because of the difference between the muscle density and a lot of other biological things, what's going to happen is what's going to happen.
But again, there's such a broad spectrum of that. Like, again, the top peak athletes make it to the league. Whereas, like, you can have, somebody who's, like, would that same WNBA athlete outclass like a normal 6'0" dude? Sure.
100%.
And then vice versa.
Hey, if I got in a cage fight with any MMA girl that's out there in the UFC verse, or even in amateurs, they're gonna beat my ass
because it comes down to skill at that point. Yeah,
they're gonna whoop me.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get my.
Your shit run.
I'm gonna get knocked out or choked out, or my arm's gonna snap, or something's gonna happen. And does that make me lesser of a man? Well, I mean, I don't personally think so. But if you know, whoever wants to believe that, they can believe that. I don't care. That's just the truth, though. That's just the truth. But if it came down to a bar fight, maybe if they stab me,
yeah,
dude,
just with a bottle.
It'd be like, what's that movie? Happy Gilmore. All right, let's go, shooter.
No, I feel like it's so the age now is just that line is just getting more and more blurred wherever it goes. You know, you have both roles can do anything.
Yeah, they can.
And it doesn't. It's not this like, oh well, this is about like, you know, equality. This is just about humans being fucking humans, and that's it.
At the end of the day, is a leopard going to be able to swim across the Atlantic? No, but a whale can. Can a whale catch a human in a fucking race? No, it can't. But it can outswim anything in the water practically almost.
You're not dictated by what you have. You're dictated by your environment.
Exactly. That's just the bottom line of things, you know? Is a chimp going to be able to do 2 plus 2? Yeah, if it you know understands the aspect of what basic math is, but are we ever going to be able to swing from vines as efficiently and as quick and be able to pull out insects from hair quicker? No,
Hey,
we're not.
Brendan Fraser did that in George of the Jungle.
Hey, you know, Brendan Fraser is a unique individual.
Dude, you know I wasn't able to promote that video because it was saying I was degrading somebody. When literally I was saying like we don't deserve Brendan Fraser. In the comment, I literally put we don't deserve Brendan Fraser.
And it wouldn't let you post
because of his
it?
like his range. It let me post it, but it's like, oh, your post isn't reaching a lot of people. Let me actually read.
It shadow banned your post?
Let me read what it actually fucking said.
It preemptively shadow
With literally,
banned your
I'm like
post.
shouting him out, telling him like his range from going from like Encino Man to The Mummy to fucking Bedazzled to comedy movies to action movies to even to like this newer shit, The Whale. It's like the range of him is so damn much. Let's see, what did they say? I'll read exactly what they fucking said. It said, here we go. It doesn't meet our eligibility standards. TikTok is enriched by various backgrounds of our community members. Our differences should be respected rather than a cause for division. Your content is ineligible for the For You feed and harder to find in search because it involves offensive stereotypes or generalizations about peoples or cultures. I am saying we don't deserve this man because of what he has done for the film industry and because of his range and because of all the movies he's done. And you're going to tell me I am degrading him when I'm lifting him up? I even submitted a report. I was like, this is fucking stupid. Are you actually listening to the damn movie or to the damn TikTok? Because I'm telling, like, he's so underrated. He's so underappreciated. We don't deserve him because of how good he was in the 90s, and we just wrote him off like he was fucking nothing. And then they're like, oh, well, you're degrading someone. I'm like, I'm not degrading someone. I'm just saying he's underappreciated, which in my books, that's like, you deserve a lot more than what you got.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that's the shit I hate. And that's the fucking shit I hate.
That's why I'm not on TikTok.
That's why it does better on YouTube Shorts than it will ever do on TikTok.
That's why I'm not on TikTok anymore. You know, honestly, I think Elon Musk should buy TikTok.
I don't fucking like. It's one of those things where it's like I'm so close. Like the only reason I keep it, I don't really post as frequently as I do on there, just because sometimes shit posts and memes come up, and it's fucking great.
Instagram Reels is just as good, in my personal opinion.
True.
You know, a lot of people are gonna get mad at me for that, and I have to say this: shut the fuck up.
I prefer YouTube Shorts out of everything. Like TikTok is good for mindlessly scrolling and just getting random shit. YouTube Shorts are great for pinpointing a certain thing that you want to check. Instagram Reels is just like, we'll kind of tailor this to you, but it's also based on what your friends like. So
yeah, a lot of my friends that got mad when TikTok got banned, the biggest thing was like, I don't want to go to Instagram Reels. You just see people getting killed, and I'm just like, what are you watching? You don't just.
It's based on the algorithm. That's what you like.
If you look up, you know, girls that do OnlyFans, you know, stuff. Those posts and those pages are going to come to you. They're going to be on your For You page or your Instagram Reel page or whatever the hell you call it. They're going to be on the suggested stuff for you. Okay. That's what's going to happen. So don't watch something that you don't want. Not interested, ban it or how, you know, flag it, report it, whatever you want to do. It's going to stop showing you those things. So, and to be honest, between TikTok and Instagram Reels, I still saw people getting killed. It didn't matter. And I just recently reset my Instagram like algorithm. I think they finally put it on there or something like that because I couldn't find it for a while.
I was like, I need to do that. And see
you know what I started getting? I started getting a lot of podcasts for WWE guys. There's this one particular guy, I forget what his name is, but he's like podcasting like with like Chris Jericho and like all these other guys.
Chris Van Vliet.
I think it's
It's
him.
Van Vliet. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
he's a brown or black haired dude. Yeah, yeah, and he has
Van
like a 5-degree shadow or something like that. Yeah,
Van
yeah. He
Vliet's-
was talking
Van Vliet's
to Rey Mysterio's son,
Yep.
and he's like, "Are you ever gonna,
That's a good interview if you ever want to watch that one.
I
Because
haven't.
he does half of it kayfabe, half of it not kayfabe.
Oh, okay, yeah. I recently started getting a lot more like podcast reels, and there's two different sets of podcasters that I hate so much, but I don't know why it keeps popping up, and I keep pressing not interested.
I can guarantee I can tell you what the two are that you're probably getting.
Okay, hold on. So the first one,
I can guess. I can probably guess.
Okay, go guess.
Okay. One is probably You Should Know, which is Cam and Peyton. Black dude, white dude.
Nope.
Nope.
No.
The other one would probably be The Basement Yard.
No.
Really?
It's two. This okay. So one, the one that I really dislike.
I was really hoping to stir shit, and you'd be like, I don't like this fucking.
No, there's this one where it's like the dynamic of the smart guy and this Stone Ape guy.
It's starting to sound like Cam and Peyton, but okay.
And it's these two. They're Asian. I can't remember. I don't know what they are.
Oh, it's the fuck.
And it's did you know?
It's the Filipino dudes. Yes. Oh my
did you
God,
know
dude.
that in this one? No.
And yeah.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
No way.
Dude, trip out. It's fucking like that was fucking one of the ones that's like the dumbest shit ever. Okay. I fucking hate that one because
if this was Fight Club and I could pick someone to fight, I'd fight those guys. Both of them at the same time.
I agree with you on that one. Those they're literally just like
oh god. And then the other one, which I think it's a bit entertaining because it has to do with language, but I hate the way they look. And it's not the race, it's the way that one is just mindlessly just the way he mindlessly stares off and the face that he gives. It's another smart guy, dumb guy kind of dynamic thing. And they're both Asian as well. One has glasses, the other guy, he doesn't have glasses. And the one with the glasses has that like retro style, like split down the middle, comb back hair that's like famous in all the animes. And he's like, so what does this word mean? And then the guy will say it, and he's like,
oh yeah.
And then and then the guy who's saying it is just like.
The funny thing is, I've actually seen those.
It's like dake, and then he's like, okay, what does this word mean? Dake, and then what does this word mean? Dake. Okay, put the whole sentence together. Dake no daki daki. And it's like, why are you doing it like that? Please. Dude, it's so cringy. Stop it. Like, just have a normal conversation. Just be real people. Stop it. Like, it's the same, like, I don't.
It's
the same thing when people like do the AI thing, or like not the AI thing. What is it? Miles Morales fucking thing.
It's that.
Hey, thanks for the hot dogs. Thanks for the hot dogs. I'm just like, bro, you might as well be selling crack. You might as well be selling meth on the corner, bro. What is your problem, man?
I hated that, bro. It's like,
I don't get what maybe it's the interaction. Maybe it's like people just like, oh, this famous person said my name. Oh my god, stop it.
It's literally just
go touch grass. Go hang out with your friends at a pizza place. Talk to a girl you've never met before. Jesus Christ, please, for the love of God.
I get. The funny thing is, because I've seen so many of those podcasts come across my TikTok page that like I know a lot of them, and
I've been waiting to say this shit.
It's like that's why I mentioned in the beginning. There needs to be like that dynamic somehow works where it's the smart dude and the dumb dude.
Yeah, and
that's what like the You Should Know podcast does, and I hate to call them out. Like Cam and Peyton do that, and it's like I can never. I always forget like who's who in terms of names. Like obviously they're way different looking in their friends, but one just says the most outlandish shit ever. The other one's like, you're wrong. And they go, no, I'm not. I'm not wrong. And they just bicker about who's right and who's wrong, where it's like, yeah, obviously you're fucking wrong. And it's so just outlandish. And it's like, what would you rather get bit by? A black mamba or a leatherback sea turtle? One dude's like, leatherback sea turtle. The other dude's like, oh, you're so wrong. I'd rather get bit by a black mamba. The dude's like, you get bit by a black mamba and you fucking die in 5 minutes from poison. Leatherback sea turtle, you just lose your fucking arm. You're still alive. He's like, no, you're wrong. It's like, no, you're stupid. No, you're stupid. No, you're stupid.
And people just eat it up.
I will gladly take the basement yard and those guys any day because they're like, if those two were just frat bros, but there's not some like, they don't play too much on the like dumb guy, smart guy dynamic. It's more of just like, we're unhinged and we're just fucking goofy.
Yeah.
You know, like fuck all this like, but there's so many people that'll bank off that, be like, yep, you're the dumb one and I'm the smart one, and we're just gonna act like your IQ is fucking banana and mine is 120.
Yeah. I don't and I think it's like I said, like we've said, it's like it incites like this like innate need to comment or like point out the obvious things, you
Well,
know.
it goes back to the comment, like, oh, you didn't know, you weren't so sure of the facts when you were talking about that Michael Jackson thing. It's like, yeah, because he doesn't sit
I'm
there.
still not sure, okay? You got a problem with that? You got a problem with that? I'm still not sure.
But no, it incites, it's rage baiting.
Yeah.
You know, it's why people will make like, oh, here's my top 5, and the people miss like, oh, you're wrong, fucking. Yeah, I think we were talking about this last time. We were talking about like the greatest of all time. If I sit there and say Michael Jordan's the greatest basketball player of all time, I'll get anyone being like, well, what about LeBron? What about Kobe? It's like, dude, that's my greatest of all time.
I think
yours.
Dr. J is my favorite. I think he's my GOAT.
Yeah, you can have your own GOAT, and I will sit there and, you know, we could sit there and disagree on whoever the GOAT is. Jerry Rice is the GOAT. You'll have somebody that, no, it's Tom Brady. No, it's fucking Randy Moss. Like, everyone's going to have their own opinion.
Yeah.
Famous saying, opinions like assholes. Everybody has one. Not everybody
Exactly.
wants to hear yours.
Exactly.
You know, and it's just, it baffles me sometimes how people are just willing to die on a hill and not be like, you know what, let's just agree to disagree. Fuck it.
But then you lose all the emotion behind it, you know. You get it's like that, like, what was it, one of the first like things where I realized like people are just want to get mad.
Here, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna piss a lot of people off right now. Here, watch this right here. I'm gonna tell you right now. Here's my top 3 coffee places in order of what I prefer. Number 3, Starbucks. Number 2, Dutch Bros. Number 1, Dunkin'. You can't change my mind. Fuck you.
Yeah, that's gonna incite a lot of. There's gonna be a lot of.
Dunkin's the shit.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of people upset about that. I don't care enough about coffee like
Rage
that.
bait, rage bait, rage bait.
Well, it's like that thing where I said earlier, like I think that the Dragon Ball Z isn't that good.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's gonna incite like people that love. I mean, look, Dragon Ball Z was my first anime. If you want to go by anime, I thought it was a cartoon growing up as a kid. Realized it was an anime because then I watched Naruto and realized what mangas were and all that stuff.
Toonami put us on.
Toonami did, and thank God for that voice actor.
Fuck, man.
Yeah.
There's so much I need to catch up on. Like, I have recently just discovered Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, really?
And I was like, dude, anime in the 90s, early 2000s was fucking goated.
Yeah, and
Lupin. Oh my god, Lupin the Third.
I don't see. I wish things were a little bit more retro. You know, I think that a lot of people, they get really mesmerized by like the sparkle and shine of things, and then when things get really bad, like as far as like anime production goes, they just don't care because they want to continue getting that same thing. Like a lot of people really enjoyed Naruto because of the aspect of being a ninja, the sound animations, but then when you get into fights like the pain fight and the animation just drops to dog shit and then like they don't ever reanimate it, they just go live with it, bitch. And you're like, I mean, you made all these fillers. Why couldn't you just put a little bit of time into reanimating that? They just won't.
Yeah.
But it's the same aspect of it. Like you've seen all of it, right? You watched it all?
What?
Naruto?
No.
No? Oh, well. Realistically, like what pissed me off the most about it, and it doesn't really like make a big difference, but to me it does, is that the beginning characters you're introduced to, like the side characters, I'm not saying they need to be as relevant as the main character, but they become so irrelevant that they literally are only there for the idea of the main character of getting mad that maybe one of them dies. You know,
Mhm.
in my personal opinion, that's the reason why they were there at the end. They served no purpose. They weren't powered up at all for the last bit of
But
the ending of
you
the
have
story.
to have bum ass characters for every dope ass character. You have to bum one.
No, not it's,
Yes,
this is not
yes.
no. This is not a
'Cause for-
Yamcha to Goku
I was
thing.
gonna say
This
because
is
for every
this is
Goku, you have to
this
have
is
some shit ass
this is
fucker
like this is like
Yamcha or fucking Krillin, who's just this little
just
tiny bitch comparatively to this god.
just think like everybody in the like let's say out of 9 characters, not besides the main trio, the like let's say 9 side characters that are like actually play roles in the ending of the series, all 9 of them were basically Krillins and Yamchas comparatively to the enemy that we're fighting.
Well, yeah, but
But
then
all
you also
9 of them, bro. I'm not saying that they need to have the show, they need to have the respect or anything. They were there for no reasons, and what they did was they brought back old characters that were god tier characters.
but you also try to bring characters that'll complement because for every
They didn't though.
dumb shit character you also have to have like a Piccolo.
Yeah,
Who's gonna
but
be
Piccolo
on that same...
is wise. He's not the strongest. He's not he's you know he's not even like Super Saiyan strong. But he maybe he might be now in the newer one. But like he was a wise character that raised Gohan.
But we have now come full circle. Because for every fucking Goku, you have a Yamcha. For every dumb podcast host, you have the smart podcast host to complement it. For every good thing, you have to have a shitter.
But there was too much of the shitter in the ending of Naruto, in my personal opinion.
That's how this works too. For every good camera you have to have a shitter camera.
Yeah,
Which actually yours kind of looks better than mine. Mine looks a little more washed out.
Yeah, I think that's what I was gonna tell you too.
Mine looks a little more. I mean, I did fuck with the settings on mine. I'm also a lot more pale.
No, what do you mean you're a lot more pale? You're just as pale as me.
A lot of my paleness is covered up too.
I'm trying to get mine covered up. I want to do everything.
Oh, you want a full sleeve?
I want full sleeves. Eventually, when I get into a profession, I'll cover up my hands.
See, that's my biggest thing. Like after seeing the cutoff where mine is, I was like, the itch to get something on my hands is just so much more. Now, like I want to continue on my hands, but I was like, no, it cuts off well because that's the rocks at the ocean. Like I don't want to like fuck with it.
My hands are going to be dedicated to my parents.
That's fair.
So my right hand's going to be my mom's, my left hand's going to be my dad. But I already told you the idea of what my tattoos are going to.
The coolest shit I've seen though with hand tattoos are the ones where like they put the hand over their face and it's like another face.
Oh, it's another face.
That's
yeah, like
cool.
the ASAP Rocky album. It's not like it's like a couple. I think it's like. No, is it ASAP Rocky or ASAP Mob album? Essentially, it's like his face, and then it's like ASAP Yam's face on his hand, and he's covering it like that, and you can see.
But it's still fucking cool. Like those ones are cool.
Yeah.
But no, dude, I'm not far from being done. There's not much left. Like the elbow is the next area that has to be done, and then I got all this up here, but still like having it to where my shirt's covered, like the undone parts, and it's. Like I was watching all the clips back and I'm like this a whole lot. I'm like, damn, my fucking tattoo looks good on camera.
It does look good still.
I've started to put on Hustle Butter, which like revives the color, so it's a lot less washed out than what it was.
Sounds like I don't want to say what it sounds like.
Nut butter. Hustle Butter.
Sounds like a pimp. It sounds like a slang for like
sounds like a pimp saying, "Hey, what's up, baby? I'm Hustle Butter.
I'm Hustle Butter.
Hustle Butter.
Hey, yo, my name's Hustle Butter.
Hustle Butter.
You know why they call me Hustle Butter?
Because they get that cream.
Because I be creaming when I'm hustling. Fuck, that's so stupid.
There go my main bitch, Margarine.
This is an Asian girl. Oh god.
Oh my god.
Oh,
I think we good. That's almost 2 fucking hours, man.
Yeah, that was.
Holy shit.
Well, I mean, I got off early, so.
True, we have been running for a while. That was.
I think that's good enough, though.
Yeah, and now we have our own theme song, which is fire.
Yeah.
Like thank you to AI and everyone. I got shit for using an AI thumbnail on YouTube or whatever.
You got shit for it?
Yeah, he's like, oh, you shouldn't use an AI thumbnail because that could like deter people from watching your video just based on thumbnail. And I was like, okay, well, he's like, you should pay the artist. Like, I could pay the artist if I had enough money to do so. I have minimal fucking artistic skill. Like, Photoshop is the extent of my thing. And then 3, it got way more views when I used that thumbnail. So like, fuck you.
No, I mean, I look.
Like I understand
the guy has a little bit of a point.
No, I understand the argument for that. That's nothing wrong. Like I have artists that I know that I have paid for artwork.
Yeah.
But there's also I've used AI for a lot of stuff because I don't have the financial means to pay those artists their numbers.
Yeah.
You know, if somebody
like if we were making like solid money off of this thing, yeah, I would say let's go in and
I'd pay somebody to make a fucking 30-second to a minute song for the intro.
We would pay someone to freaking do artwork.
Right. You know, and the artwork's just my Photoshop skill of taking a fucking energy drink can and a pill bottle and putting words into them and cutting out the negative space between the lettering. That's all the Wired and Wandering logo is.
Yeah.
All me just taking stock images of an energy drink can and a fucking pill bottle. But like the song, that was all AI.
That was good.
That took like 8 to 10 tries to get that right.
Yeah.
Which we might actually, when we log off, I'll show you the different tries. But that was like honestly the best one I found that I generated. But yeah, we're also there. We're on Spotify is our main. We have the video that comes out a day after the audio comes out. We got onto Apple Podcasts and what was the other one? I'm trying to think. It's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and I want to say iHeartRadio.
Oh wow!
We got an iHeartRadio podcast, and of course the YouTube puts us on podcasts as well under the podcast category. But of course the video. So,
well, I think that maybe I know that you've talked about this before, but we should not. I don't ever want to know the numbers, and I don't ever want to know the comments like that. Just because it just doesn't help, you know. Like I know that there's not opinions, but like logistical like points of view of certain things that may help us or may not help us or whatever. But at the end of the day, like continue to do what we do, you know. Like if someone has an issue with it or has an issue with an opinion, who gives a shit, you know? Fuck them. Fuck them.
It was just funny that he's like, you so much for the fact I'm like, dog, who the fuck are you? Like, oh, I'm sorry that he's not trying to do fucking sound like an idiot. And that's what you're not used to.
Yeah.
Bro, did you know?
For all I know, Michael Jackson's an alien. And the reason why he was able to get all that money from Eminem for the songs is because he enslaved Eminem. Who knows? I don't.
Oh shit! So if you're listening to this, yeah, you can check the video and see our stupid faces on YouTube the day after. Of course, on my YouTube, which there may eventually be another just separate Wired and Wandering.
That doesn't matter.
YouTube. I mean, there's a separate playlist.
Fair. Yeah, I believe in separate playlists. I hate when I go try to find someone on YouTube's page and I have to scroll through all their videos and then find the different videos. I'm like, just make a playlist, man. Like, just drag and pull. That's all you have to do, really.
And maybe we will get eventually better cameras and better mics, but hey.
Eventually.
Ground zero.
Ground zero.
All right, cool. Episode 2 in the books. See you, ladies and gentlemen.